this episode of Prescott Gallery of Homes. I'm Steve Irwin, and today we have Kirsten Olson back with us.
Hi, Steve.
Kirsten, introduce your guest.
So today I brought Mike Hodges, and
Okay.
you're with my home group.
My
correct?
home group, MHG Commercial.
Okay, HG Commercial.
MHG Commercial.
MHG, sorry.
We're a division of my home group.
Okay, now I brought you here because you are my expert on business zone opportunities.
It's qualified opportunity zones, but yes, thank
Oh,
you.
I'm so sorry. Oh, I totally
It's
just
an
messed that
opportunity
up.
zone, but no, thank
Okay,
you very much.
What is an opportunity zone?
Well, qualified opportunity zones, they were part of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. President Trump was a big part of creating them, along with a couple of senators, Tim Scott and Cory Booker. So it's a
Okay.
bipartisan bill
Okay.
that was created to really infuse a lot of investment income into lower income communities. So qualified opportunity zones are made up of lower income census tracts. So across the nation, there's 8,764 of them.
So like the
in
bad
America.
neighborhoods in America.
You would think so, but if you look at in certain big cities, of course, there are areas that you may not want to put investments in. But if you look at our particular opportunity zone here in Prescott, it's really diverse.
So we have areas in Prescott that are
Qualified.
We do
Qualified.
qualified
Yeah.
opportunity
Okay. Yeah.
zone. We have 2 square miles.
We don't
And-
have bad places in Prescott. So
We
where
don't
are
really.
these 2 square miles?
Right across the street from here, actually.
Are you
So,
serious?
yes.
Oh, wow.
So if you pull into town, everything from the VA Center practically,
Okay.
an Apache Motel,
Yeah.
all the way to Grove Avenue. If you're driving down Gurley Street, everything on the right side or everything north of Gurley is in the Opportunity Zone, all
I
the
did not
way
know
to
that.
Grove.
Wow.
Well, and if you make a right on Grove, I'll keep it local.
Uh-huh.
Make a right on Grove and go past the hospital all the way to Wetstein, and make a right on Wetstein, and come in behind the Yavapai Reservation and
Okay.
wiggle your way back into the VA.
Yeah.
That 2 square mile plot is.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So personally, my office is not in an opportunity zone.
You're very close.
So we're very close.
You'd have to go across the street.
I'd have to go across the street.
Yes.
All right. The other side of the tracks.
Okay, so what does the opportunity, why did they create this act?
Well, they realized in 2017 there was over $7 trillion sitting on the sidelines in the stock market
Okay.
that were unrealized capital gains. And Cory Booker actually realized a good way to reinvest in his community was to bring investments in and match them with the community and get them certain incentives to help it work. And Tim Scott was struggling, and so he called Tim Scott, and Tim Scott said, let's put it to work in my neighborhood.
Okay.
Tim Scott went to the president, and in that 1,800 pages of documents of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, they included a 3-page framework, and only 3 pages to create all of the opportunity zones across America, 8,764 of them.
Wow.
Did you have to read all 1,800 pages to get to the 3 pages that you
No,
read?
I did not.
Okay, because I'm like, dang.
But the 3 pages left a really good framework, and they've restructured it a few times. And there's legislation out now that they're trying to solidify and even open up the market, because COVID set back certain investments in a lot of the
Yeah.
economy the last.
Yeah.
So if I'm a business owner or a real estate owner, maybe some commercial real estate, what's the benefit? What's the incentive?
The benefit for an investor would be if we've passed one mark. So it came out in 2017. So there was a 3-stage benefit to investors or business owners.
Okay.
So if you were to invest in a qualified opportunity fund to go into a qualified opportunity zone property, the benefit was if you held the property for 7 years, you got a 15% step up in basis.
Wow.
So they would not only give you a 15% step up in basis, but defer any capital gains that you brought into the investment.
Oh.
And then now we've passed that 2-year period, so that was
Okay.
2019. So now in 2021, we've only got the 5-year period left, which we have to be invested by 12/31/2021 to get the 10% step up in basis.
Okay.
So if you brought capital gains, which this whole thing is based on capital gains, you have
Right.
to bring capital gains in as your investment to benefit.
Okay.
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 And so
So capital gains, just for the average person, you sold something.
Right.
You sold some real estate.
Yes.
Okay.
What's
So,
great
so
about
I,
this-
as an individual, though, like if I had a rental property, I sold that, and I had capital gains, I could invest in this.
into an opportunity zone.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes, and so having capital gains is the only way right now to get into opportunity zones. They're trying to open it up, trying to change the legislation to open it up to everybody, but right now it's not available.
Okay.
But what if I'm the owner of a building and I have an opportunity renter coming in? Does the building owner get an incentive?
If you're already in the zone?
Right.
No.
Okay.
So you have to have bought the opportunity zone property post 2017.
Okay. Well, what if I did? What if I owned it for before then?
If you brought capital gains to it and,
Right.
and originated your fund, then you would be able to. If you haven't up until this point, I would consult your tax accountant and
Okay.
attorney to see if there's a way that you could reestablish that. Because if you had brought tax capital gains to that, there might be a way to attach that, but that's above my head.
Okay, so now you do know your stuff on this.
Well, thank
have
you.
Have you done one of these properties? in
I've
our little
sold a
area?
few opportunity zone properties. I
Have you?
haven't. I've been really fortunate in my career, but I haven't hooked up the perfect investor for the right situation.
Okay,
So
what is that? I don't understand. What is the right situation?
I think what the spirit of the opportunity zone is to bring in an investor that's willing to work with the city
Sure.
and that particular neighborhood to create something that would really benefit the neighborhood, to bring
Right.
jobs, bring opportunities for the local people in that neighborhood. For instance, there's one company right now that's investing all of their growth and time into opportunity zones doing vertical farming.
Nice.
So on a 4-acre piece of property going high,
Yeah.
it's a benefit to the water conservation, because every
Right.
drop of water that goes through that he can account for.
Right.
And it brings jobs, and the local people can walk to their work.
Right.
So his thing is, I want people to walk to work. And a lot of people in low-income communities don't have the connection or the ability to get out.
Or the
some-
vehicle or something.
Yes.
And in ours, I don't think we even have like buses.
We do have a little transit
Okay.
system.
So we have a little transit.
But it's
Okay.
really hard to track, and if anything happens that day and you can't get to work,
You're out of a job.
so if you can walk, and if you've got a couple of kids and your boss happens to be able to structure it where you can work a few hours a day,
Right.
it could really change a local community and give people a chance that never had an opportunity to be in management before.
That's a great
It's a
thing.
wonder's thing. I really think
Oh my
it's
gosh.
a special opportunity for the right investor and neighborhood.
Now, on the benefit is a federal tax benefit.
Yes.
What about local government and county government, state government? Do they have something for these zones also?
Yes. So that's you'd have to check with the city. I know that they're a proponent of the opportunity zones.
Okay.
So it'd be something to check with them on,
Okay.
and how far they'd be willing to, what they'd be willing to do. But the big benefit of the opportunity zone tax benefit is if you once you hold it for 7 years, you get that 15% step up in tax.
Yeah.
If you hold it for 10 years, it's a total tax-free deal. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so if you hold that investment, let's say you had $1 million brought to the deal, and it grew up to $5 million in
Right.
10 years, you get to walk away with that $5 million tax-free. And
Nice.
so the major benefit is if anybody has a 10-year plan and are willing to hold their investment for 10 years, I'm not saying an opportunity zone investment will make a bad real estate investment good,
Yeah.
but it could make a decent real estate
Great.
investment better and a good investment really good.
Yeah.
And so you could have the chance to walk away in 10 years and feel good about yourself for helping the neighborhood.
Well,
But you
And-
can also change the neighborhood.
Totally. Oh, you
I
could
mean,
invest in. There are so many
yes.
people in these. We have a different opportunity zone than a lot around the states. If you look at the bigger cities, even Prescott Valley, they've got Prescott Valley's opportunity zone is awesome too. But it really is. But the opportunity zones a lot of them have expansive areas where there's 2 or 3 acres that are open. We have very few of that here.
Right.
So our opportunity zone will have a really nice house that's
Sure.
really well taken care of. There are some on Mount Vernon that are, people
Right.
walk through and drive
Right.
by every year.
Mhm.
But there might be 2 or 3 next to it with 2 or 3 small apartments in the back
Right,
that are
right.
renting out. And
Right.
those are the communities, or those are the folks that really don't have the opportunity
Right.
to, and if we could bring something to them, but still give an investor a good return, it's a perfect match, I think.
It's a brilliant idea.
I think I do too. Some say it's the greatest tax incentive plan since the New Deal, and I'm not that old. What the? Yes,
So-
if
so
you
let me
go
ask you
past Pokemon, I don't remember.
You're good at Pokemon. If I did a 1031 exchange,
Yes,
can I take those capital gains I've got doing in my 1031 exchange and actually invest?
yes.
Okay.
So you
Right.
could bring your 1031 investment into an opportunity zone, and that's a great point. The difference between an opportunity zone, or a few differences between an opportunity zone and a 1031 exchange, is a 1031 exchange, it's a like property for a like property, or you're upgrading. With the 1031 exchange, you can sell gold, stocks, any Vandalay Industries, if you remember the Seinfeld series. You can sell anything that's it can bring you capital gains. You don't have to just do a like kind exchange.
Oh.
And so if you also, let's say you sold $1 million in stocks or any type of a capital gain, you could bring, and your basis was $500,000. You don't have to bring that whole $1 million like you would in a 1031 exchange into the deal. You can keep your basis, bring only your
Capital
gain,
gains,
and
yeah.
reinvest your $500,000.
Wow.
There's a lot of, with a good CPA, there's a lot of great ways to make this work for the right investor.
So how are we getting the word out on these opportunity zones?
It's been being talked about for a while. It takes hours and hours and hours. There's a lot of information to go through. So a lot of people aren't willing to invest that much time. And so what happened was it came out in 2018, 2017,
Yeah.
2018, and they put time limits on them right away.
Right.
Well, right when we start coming out of our stumble, we start to build, and investors don't have time to learn anything new.
Right.
So right when we start hitting our stride, COVID hits.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that knocked us back another now
Yeah.
almost 2 years. So what the new legislation is wanting to do is say, hey, we didn't do this right. We could have, if COVID hadn't interrupted, we would have had more time for investors to
More
get
more
into this.
participation.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And so let's take that 2 years and add it on now. So
Oh, nice.
hopefully by 2021, by December 31st, 2021, they will have changed that and added that 2 years. That's what everybody's counting on in the opportunity zone business.
Oh, wow.
So that hopefully will happen.
So here's the question.
Yes.
If somebody out there has an investor or they're looking to invest and they want to know more about opportunity zones, how do they contact you?
That's wonderful. Thank you. I'm Mike Hodges. My number is 928-420-6671. And my email address is mike@mikesalesprescott.com.
Okay.
Very nice. Any category of business excluded from that?
No. Well, I take that back. They have what's called no sin businesses. So
Okay.
sin businesses.
Is real estate? That's not.
No,
That-
that's
I
not a
think
sin
Oh,
yet.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's no bars, no tanning salons.
Wow.
You can't
Oh.
have golf courses. And so there's a lot of things in it that
But you could have a restaurant.
you can have a restaurant and you can serve liquor, but you know how you have to have a certain percentage
Sure.
going to food. And
Okay.
so you can do it. In fact, there are some really nice properties opening up right now in our opportunity zone that serve liquor and that are.
Yeah, because I know one of the functions of our RPR system is to go in and put a city name in.
Yes.
And it'll tell you what's missing. It'll literally say, this town
Needs.
needs, more
Quilting
medical
store.
doctors.
It
or-
sure
Okay.
does.
Or whatever.
Right.
RPR is a fantastic tool for opportunity zones.
And it's a great tool.
So if you go into geographies, if you're in a certain city,
Mm-hmm.
hit under geographies is actually opportunity zone tab.
Oh,
And you can
wow.
open that up, yeah.
And that's not an RPR though.
Yes.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is?
So go
That's
into
what he
RPR,
said.
so
Yeah.
under RPR,
I learned
you
something.
got the residential commercial tab up there.
Uh-huh.
Go to commercial, and it'll drop down and go to the zip code of the area that you want to search. I encourage Prescott Valley.
Yeah.
And hit geography, and
Uh-huh.
it'll open up the opportunity zone tab.
Well, as soon as we're done, I'm gonna go check that out.
I encourage you to.
I'm just impressed. That's a lot of knowledge.
Oh, I'm impressed you think that. Thank you very much.
So we have a zone here in Prescott,
We do.
what, Prescott Valley maybe?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do a great one in Prescott
Do you
Valley
have
along
one in Chino?
Florentine. Not that I know of. We got one
Okay.
in Cottonwood,
Oh,
and it's kind of between Cottonwood and Camp Verde out on the
yeah.
little
That's a lot of
transition highway. out
highway there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the one in Prescott, it's a shame because, yeah, you can be on the left-hand side of Gurley and be left out.
That's right. Over there where the high rollers are. Well, hey, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you both for
Thank
having
you.
me. It was great fun.
Thank you for educating us.
Yeah.
Thank
And thanks,
you.
Kirsten, for being on the show too.
My pleasure.
So thanks for tuning in to this episode of Prescott Gallery of Homes. We hope you enjoyed it.